first of all, welcome you back to Del Mar. Very glad. I love winning customers. I also love winning customers back. We want to work with folks for long periods of time and earn the trust and of course, maintain the relationship. So I always like asking, I guess I'll start with, why did you originally choose to work with Del Mar?
Originally, we had bought the house in June, and we basically had a month to get the house ready, and we knew we didn't have a lot of time to market the house, and it seemed like Del Mar had the package to guarantee an income, because we just had bought the house and put a lot of money in, and two is it just off the ground running and go. And I think we were ready July 4th or just the end of July, and you guys had it booked. It seemed like it instantaneously. It was also during the COVID years, but still it was booked really quick. And
what year was that? 2022, right?
2022. It was beneficial for both sides, because like I said, we had just bought it, put some money in, and we knew there was income coming in, so it was a little bit of a security thing for us initially.
I guess that gave you a little bit of peace of mind as it relates to, hey, this problem of mine is now solved. Like Del Mar's got it, right?
Yes, peace of mind is a good way of saying it. Yes.
May I ask, what were the thoughts you had when you decided to seek other options? What were the motivations or the inclinations, and why did you ultimately decide to leave Del Mar for a year?
It's a little touchy, but it's I think because we had 2 years of renting, it seemed like with no issues, and it rented fully. And I guess in the back of our mind too, I guess, obviously it was during the COVID years and everybody was trying to get out of the house and stay local. It was like, all right, we know it can rent now. Maybe we can try it on our own and see if maybe we can make a little more money. And then also there were some rules that you guys were implementing for the following contract that didn't seem like it was our own home, so to say, almost like you guys were kind of like controlling what we could do with our own house. And it just felt like, all right, maybe we should try something else and just see how it goes.
That's unfortunate. Do you remember what that was? Was that the switch to the 10 days a month in the shoulder season?
Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah.
Was there anything else, just for my own knowledge, so I can learn?
I think maybe too. Maybe we started off maybe with too long of that rental period, that when we did use it in January and February, it's like, we were there just barely 2 months, and I think the last week we were charged for a cleaning fee, and it's like, this is our free month, and then it's like, why can't we do what we want with our 2 free months? And it just felt like, so I think now coming back and having that shorter period and giving us the flexibility off season is a little more appealing to us.
I see that a lot. I see people feel like, hey, I want more flexibility. And at some point they chose to be on this longer term, which works for some folks, right? But then I want people to know, we do have the regular season and we have the extended season. And I never want to lose a customer because they feel like, oh, I have to do the extended season, and then they feel like it's less flexible, or there's guests at their house through the whole off season and stuff like that. What was your experience like, in the year you tested the market, so to speak? Did you achieve better income? Did you achieve better service? Were your expectations met? Were there things that were good that Del Mar can learn from? Were there things that were not good that Del Mar could learn from?
It was a little bit like overpromised and under-delivered. That kind of summarized it. The rental.
For the record, we're not talking about Del Mar right now, right?
Correct.
We're talking about some other organization. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a struggle to fill out the weeks, and it is post-COVID, and I know people are now traveling to Europe and stuff, and I think the whole Cape in general has struggled a little bit on that, and there's extra homes for rent than what they used to be 4 or 5 years ago. So I understand that part, but I think out of the 12 weeks or so, we generated 3 or 4 weeks of rental by my wife, or did some promotion on Facebook and different thing, Cape Cod, and on one weekend, and then within one day, 3 or 4 weeks got booked, and it felt like, okay, well, we just did that. That's not what we were intended to do. We wanted somebody else to do this stuff.
Right.
So it felt like things just weren't coming on. But we do have to say that the market is different, and I think we can acknowledge that this year the market was a little bit different. And then as
But it
far as
is a
money,
little, to your concern, like it is a little odd to hire somebody and pay somebody to market your house and then to have them 50% reliant on you doing the work or booking the
yeah,
dates.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think in actually, they probably wouldn't admit that, but I mean, we did the promotion one day, and within 2 days there was 3 or 4 weeks that were booked, and we were just
Yeah.
waiting for those weeks to go. And it was a decent percentage, and it's like, well, what is it you're doing for the percentage? And then I got a call the other day of saying, how far is the house to the beach? And I was like, where the house is. Why can't you answer that directly to the renter? So
Yeah.
I had to answer that, and it's like it just seems like there was a lack of fulfilling their duty, so to say. So obviously we made some less money, and then we also had to pay for trash and landscaping. So the dollar difference was significant.
So you had less peace of mind, both on the fact that you were involved in the service, like both marketing and solving guest problems, and
Yeah.
you were more concerned around the income, sort of, where it's like, hey, we're not achieving what we used to achieve. Yeah.
Yes, and then several times some things came up, appliance or plumbing, and we thought that was a little bit part of their service to try to get things done, and basically I had to manage that as well. So I felt like for the
So
percentage
frustrating.
they were asking, they weren't doing that extra
Yeah.
that they should be doing.
I tell folks this all the time. Like, there's a lot of people who claim to be full service. Vacasa does. There's a bunch of local providers who do. And I know, like, we have 100 year-round employees and a couple hundred seasonal employees on the Cape, right? And that's what it takes to deliver. And by the way, we make our mistakes, as you probably could talk about too if we had a different interview. Like, I know we make mistakes, right? But one of
Yeah,
the things I always tell folks is, like, we're not going to call you and give you a job. Like, we have a job. We're going to call you with a solution. Maybe, hey, your hot water heater stopped working. We have a plumber going. Here's the approximate cost. But so many homeowners so many of our homeowners who've never rented with somebody else before, they don't realize that other folks will call you and give you a job. Hey, you need to call your cleaner. Hey, you need to call your plumber. And
yeah,
and they claim to be full service, which is just I think Del Mar is doing a good job of defining what full service means. I think we make our mistakes, but at the risk of being called a liar, I try to tell every homeowner, we will not call you with a job. We will not call you with a task. Like, there's obviously permission we need from folks to get things done,
yeah,
but that's different than a homeowner feeling obligated to, like, oh, I have to go, like, call a gardener to get the mulch, like, because the
yeah.
gardens look like junk, so
I would. The only thing I would add. I mean, we've had rented for 12 weeks. We've had 0 reviews, and
oh wow.
are like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
with you guys, there was reviews almost like every week. Whoever was there, they
Yeah.
put a review in afterwards, and it's like, well, how? And that's how, not me, but my wife, when she looks at places, that's the first thing she does. She goes right to reviews.
There's an ego part of that. You want to know, like, how your house is doing. You want to feel proud
Yep.
about it. But there's the long-term marketability. And if we work hard to get 10 to 15 5-star reviews per season per house, right? Somewhere in there. And sometimes
Yeah.
we do a little better, sometimes not quite there. But if you have a house that's listed for 3, 4, 5 years and it has 80, 100, 150 5-star reviews, it is worth more
Yes. Yeah.
for sure than a house that doesn't have that. So if you're
Right.
not working for 5-star reviews, you're not working for the future revenue potential of the home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm very glad you came back. So thank you for calling us.
Yep. Yep.
We're happy to have you. You know, the team's going to work hard to continue to impress, to ensure that you don't get called about silly things that aren't your responsibility. And so obviously you have a direct line to me. You also have your client manager in Dave, and you have Deb as backup. So we are fully staffed, and we
Good.
want you to stick with us for years.
Good. All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Bob. Be
Look forward
well.
to it. Thank you.